It's school time. Everyone's back in school. And you know what that means? It's time to be thinking about tests, exams, how to focus. So, here are a few tips that really can help you keep your focus and do better on your tests and recall things. So, biggest thing is sleep. Okay, you've got to get your sleep. When you start cutting down your sleep, you're going to lose recall significantly. So, staying up super late, studying all night, it's probably not going to help you. So get your 7.5, 8 hours of sleep, get good restful sleep, protect your sleep. That is number one. You will recall information better. Number two, we need to eat well. First off, we need to take the test just like we studied for the test. And what that means is if you're drinking caffeine, you need to have caffeine in your system. If you're going to be chewing gum, you need to be chewing gum while you're studying. These things really connect the dots and cue your brain to recall information. So the other thing is we need to have proper nutrition. We don't want to load ourselves up with sugar, sugary drinks, all that type of thing. That's going to cause brain fog, our blood sugar to spike and then crash. You're going to have all kinds of issues with remembering things and just concentration because your brain's going to be all over the place. So what we want is a good balanced breakfast. So we want some good protein in there, some good healthy fats, and we can have some carbs in there, but we want to keep those kind of to a minimum and limit those simple carbs. Simple carbs we want to eliminate are obviously sugar, any juices. They're full of sugar. They're horrible for you. Don't even drink them. Sodas, energy drinks, any of that type of thing. That's just too much sugar, too much jazz going on, too much caffeine on top of that. We want to keep our caffeine content kind of limited. So, a little bit. You're going to have a cup of coffee. Perfect. Do your normal. That's what your body's going to be used to, and you're going to recall the best in those scenarios. In terms of a breakfast, a good breakfast is going to be, a couple eggs, maybe a breakfast meat. You could throw in some cashews or walnuts, a Brazil nut for some magnesium. Those are going to be great things that really help you sustain your energy. So it's going to sustain your blood sugar to your brain and provide energy for the long term. And that's really going to help you stay focused. When it stays a normal blood sugar and we're not having a big insulin spike, it keeps that brain fog down. So you're going to be clear to think and recall. The other thing we can do, we want to stimulate our parasympathetic system. So that's our rest and digest. So calming it down. So there's been some studies around chewing gum that helps stimulate that. If that's not something you do, come up with a couple other options that work for your body in stimulating you to calm down, whether that's, just things that that your body works to calm down. On top of that, we can start to introduce some herbs and that type of thing. So some great ones that are out there is ginkgo. Ginkgo increases blood flow to the brain. It is great for memory and cognition. So that's a great one you can add in. I would probably, use that while you're studying as well as during a test. And it could be something great to just take on a daily basis while you're in school. On top of that, you can take some bacopa. That's another herb, great for memory recall. I use that one when I go to conferences and I'm doing my learning. RNA, that's another one. So RNA helps the brain produce proteins, all kinds of things. There's a lot of different function of it, but it really can improve focus, attentiveness, keep the brain alert. That's something, again, I take to my conferences. When I'm learning all day for 8, 10, 12 hours a day, I continuously take those all day long. On top of that, you can, again, if you need to calm your body, that's another thing you need to do, right? If you need to be finding your calm, and ashwagandha could be a great one to help bring that brain down so that you're not all uptight, stressed out, because you're just not going to recall. So if that's you, then we're going to look at ashwagandhas, some more calming things, some magnesium. I prefer whole food magnesium. One of the ones we use, Easy Mag from Standard Process, great one, multi-form, great absorption, gets into the brain at a higher rate than even the highest other forms that are synthetic. You can also use some minerals to calm your brain down, like sea kelp, several zinc, copper, all help bring the brain down and calm it down. We use products called Mintran and Minchex for those types of things from Standard Process. All those different strategies, you can find the ones that work for you. I wouldn't go taking them all. A good combination might be, take ginkgo, bacopa, some RNA. If you're really a tense, stressed test taker, then I would definitely throw in ashwagandha on a regular basis, as well as, utilizing maybe some minerals there to calm you down. Those are going to be some great tips for helping you do better on your tests. I almost forgot water. Water. Water could be one of the most key things. Making sure you're hydrated is critical. You really need to be drinking a good amount of water each day. If without exercise, you should be drinking at least 64 ounces. And if you're throwing in any caffeine into that mix, really start adding in probably about 6 to 8 ounces more of water per cup of, say, coffee or tea, or, I hope you're not drinking energy drinks, but if you are, then you need to add in even more water because those things are loaded in caffeine. So I might do more like 12 ounces for one of those. These are the tips to really help you focus more, study better, and perform better on your tests so you can stay focused and get better grades and do better in school.